Hello and welcome to a tutorial by me, Amazing Sound. We are here in a brand new tutorial land, nice and blank and empty. And we're going to be doing a tutorial today on a bamboo or a sugarcane farm. It's a slight modification to some other designs that are out there, but it's a different kind of layout. And I like it. It fits in a one chunk design, which is key. And I'm using it right now in my Let's Play world, my server, to power my furnace. I'm using it in, I believe, 14 layers of about 40 bamboo per layer. And we're going to get right into this and show you how to build this here. I got everything you need in the chest over here to build this. So you need about 88 immovable objects, whether that's glazed terracotta or obsidian, furnaces, something along those lines, 40 slime blocks, 4 sticky pistons, 12 redstone dust, 4 redstone torches, 4 light sources in a block format. They could be torches on regular blocks if you like, but I happen to like the sea lanterns. 4 torches, some building blocks of choice, 40 grass blocks, some glass panes, and you'll see what those are for in a little bit, and of course 40 pieces of bamboo. If you are doing this with sugarcane, you will need a lot of 40 buckets of water, or an infinite water source, of course, some stairs in order to waterlog those, and the sugarcane as well. We're going to be powering this with a standard hopper clock. So these are the materials you need for the hopper clock: just a redstone block, 2 hoppers, 2 comparators, 2 regular pistons, 2 pieces of dust, and 2 redstone torches, and 4 stacks of any type of item. So to build this, we're going to start with our grass. Let me just grab all of our resources here that we'll need. I'm going to build this with bamboo right now. Maybe I'll do the second layer as the sugarcane. So these are laid out in squares, chunk aligned here. So this would be the corner of your chunk. So you're going to come in 2 blocks from the corner of your chunk, put down your lighting block, and then you're going to go across 10 blocks of grass. Drop another lighting block. We're going to build this in a square. There's 10 there. Another 10, we should line up here. So your collection system in the middle can be whatever it wants. You can use water streams, you can put down a hopper minecart underneath this into a water stream. There's a million different collection systems out there, so you're welcome to go with any one you see there. If you were going to use regular blocks on the corner with a torch, you would put them right here. So you would get a regular stone brick, something, whatever you want to put in the corners here. So we're going to start building up the sides here. So 1 block in from the corner, you're going to start using your immovable objects. And you're going to bring those all the way around, not to the light. And then where the light would go, we want to put whatever we're going to use for building blocks. So I happen to like the stone bricks. So we build it around the corner like that, and when we continue on to the other corner here, oh, wrong block. So we're using the immovable objects because the basis of the system is sticky pistons with some slime blocks on them to harvest the items and push them down into whatever your collection system is. So once we finish that row there, we're going to put our immovable objects on the corner here, our green terracotta, glazed terracotta. And then on top of there, I'm going to go with another stone brick, and then we're going to fill in between this in with more glazed terracotta. What we're doing is actually building this all the way around so that our slime blocks don't stick when we harvest. I'm just going to get this wrapped up, and we'll move on to the next phase here. So the timings I have down that we'll look at later are for the sugarcane, or for the bamboo, I'm sorry. Just building a little block out. If you come out here, this should be the edge, the outside wall of your chunk. So if you dug out an exact chunk, you should still have a wall outside there. And be able to then place your sticky piston. So we're going to place sticky pistons in corners here. Just get the blocks in opposite corners. We're going to do 2 pistons in the opposite corners, and I'll show you what I mean from above in a second here. You just get these blocks placed, and then we'll get the pistons on them. With this being a chunk edge, it's very easy to do in survival instead of flying around like I am here. And we can remove the blocks that are behind them. Those are just temporary blocks. So you want your piston setups in the corners like this. So in opposite corners. That way you minimize the redstone. You're not running long redstone lines to every corner. And on the face of those, we're just going to line this completely with slime blocks. Not there. And this is going to be our pushing system for the entire system. So when the piston goes off, it's going to push that entire row out. We're going to set the timings up so we're only firing off half of the farm at a time. So it should reduce a lot of piston lag and everything on a regular server. I also like to put a torch just on the inside in the middle. There's not an exact middle because it is 10 blocks here. So pick a side and put it in. And that is most of the farm done without the redstone in the background. So you can, at any time, if you're doing this in survival, the way I built it in my world is actually stand up here, and you can just point down there and strafe, holding your right mouse or trigger or whatever you're using, and plant all your bamboo all the way around without falling down. And then that'll grow up, and our next row begins right above here. So let me just place a temporary block here. We put some grass in, and then this grass would just continue. That way it doesn't grow too tall either. So you only want this to grow 3 tall. And we're going to try and harvest it before it gets to 3, because most of the time, anytime it gets to 3, it'll fall down on top of the sticky slime block and just fall back on top of the bamboo that's below. So that would be the start of our next layer up here. So that is most of the farm complete. When you do the corners here, what I like to do is just put some blocks here. Break that real quick. And we're just going to do a simple torch tower here. So you have your torch down there, which I'm actually going to place a little differently. We'll put our timer, I guess it doesn't matter. So the bottom layer is going to be a little different because you're going to want to turn that block. Well, I mean, I guess you could. I forgot this is Bedrock, not Java. So you could place it there, place that. I'm off by 1 block, that's what it is. So what you want to end up with is your torch actually sitting on this block here, but you want it to be off. So we'll put our block there with our torch there. And then our redstone dust here. And you could always put a torch there. You could put a sea lantern there. That'll eliminate some of the lag for the redstone lighting updates. And we do the same thing on this side here. No, not with immovable blocks. We could put a little light source in there. Torch, some redstone dust. See, and that just fired those out because I don't have the other one. So when I put the other torch underneath here, it'll retract those. That way when those get an update, when they get, that bottom torch gets turned off, the upper torch gets turned on, and we'll extend the pistons out, pushing all of this into the center. And when you want to continue up with your torch tower, you do the same thing. You put a block, a torch, a block, a torch, and this is where your next layer ends up being. So it's a very simple process to get that up there. I also like to put on the third block in would be a torch, but let's build this layer up as if it were some sugarcane. So we will use, let me get it from the chest here, get some stairs, buckets of water, and sugarcane instead. So the way you'll do this is you'll put your stairs in. You want to set your first one that way so that as you go down you don't get water spilling out. Just like this. And you'll repeat that on all four sides. I'm flying faster than my fingers are moving. Then you'll take your water. Just be careful not to get your redstone. And you'll waterlog all these stairs, including the corners. I've tested rates on the bamboo for this. I have not tested rates for the sugarcane. I'm not using this for sugarcane, although I may build it in the near future. Right on top of this, we're just going to do our immovable blocks like we did previously. Put our corners in. This should be light source. Light source just helps everything to grow faster. Of course, the brighter the source you have, the less you have to have around. But I still like to do the torches on the inside as well. Brings a little extra light to those center blocks that are the farthest away from the corner light sources without taking up any space. So then we're just going to go up in the corners here, up in the corners here. No, I'm doing that wrong. Don't do that. Don't listen to me. At least not on this part. We got to make sure nothing sticks to those. We can put our torch tower in over here as well. It helps with our piston placement. If you're building this in survival, you can just use the scaffolding. It's a great new tool here. I usually put it in one of the corners here, build up scaffolding straight down in this corner here, and then bridge over so you can get to both sides if you had to do maintenance on them or anything like that. Just going to finish this off here with our top layer of immovables. Come on. Place blocks. Moving too fast. Okay. That's it for the second layer. We'll just put our sugarcane in real quick. It's nice that this farm does not require any bone meal. And you could bone meal your bamboo to get it started a little faster so it grows into the stalks. But most of the high-powered farms out there require some bone meal in order to get them functioning correctly. So that's really it. That's most of the farm complete. The only thing that I add in, if you are going to build this multi-layers high, is some glass panes. Because what happens is as you get higher, the slime blocks launch the particles, the harvest, over onto the other side here. So what I do is actually come in a block here, usually for my torches, just come up one layer, and then put a straight layer of panes across this way. That stops them from being tossed this way across. They'll hit this and go straight down. And I do the same on this side here. Just come up one. This is the tedious part. It's so hard to place glass like that. And again, there's no center here. You could do it one block less. It will definitely take away from the rates there. I don't think it matters if you go all the way to the edge like that. I didn't in my design, but you could. I don't think it's going to affect the bamboo or sugarcane being tossed off the edge. And you're going to bring this up as high as the farm goes. So the way I did it in my survival world is I stood in the middle here and just placed panes forever. A little jump up. And then once you get to the top, you can just walk off the side. Not like that. Come on. We'll just get one section of this done here, down where the bamboo is. You get the idea. And again, if you're building this low enough, you don't have to worry about that. It's when you get up, I think it's above 4 layers, it'll start to kind of toss out that way. So you'll build this all the way up as high as your farm is. And now we can build the little clock that goes along with powering this system. So it's a simple hopper clock. Let me just put this stuff away. I don't need this anymore. You can build it just below your farm. Should have grabbed a repeater as well. So redstone you want to try and keep within the chunk. I built mine somewhat near the corner here. So you point 2 hoppers into each other. I'm sure most of you have built these before. I need those there. We do our comparator into a solid. Do a comparator into a solid here. That's not a comparator. Do as I say, not as I do. Little piece of redstone dust on both sides. Not up there. There. Add your pistons. Your redstone block. And then off the side of each of these, put a redstone torch. And then we'll run some redstone here. I gotta grab a repeater, I'll grab that in a second. Just grab a repeater here. It's actually going to extend both sides right now because we have nothing in the hoppers. So then you're going to want to load these with 4 stacks of items. And what happens is both of the comparators are on right now, which is turning both torches off and making sure all the pistons are retracted. But when one of these gets down to no items left in it, that is going to turn the comparator off for just a quick second before items start flowing back in, which will then turn this torch back off. So it'll turn on for a second when there's nothing in it, harvesting one half, and it'll turn back on the other side. So I'm going to take 2 stacks out of here just for the sake of time, so you could see this thing fire. And look at all that sugarcane down there, just from both halves being fired once. So this farm with 4 stacks in it will fire off half of it every minute and 40 seconds, I believe it is. See, there goes the one side. Oh, I didn't put my redstone dust up here. Let's try that again. Little things you forget. At least you can see them simply. And the second one will farm. So we'll watch it. It seems to be just about enough time for most of the sugarcane, or bamboo, I didn't test sugarcane rates, to grow up to the 2nd level. If it makes it to the 3rd, it's not, most of the time it's going to fall. Let me see if we see any fall. Yep, we got one there. So that one must have been up at the top level, just underneath the dirt block. So when the sticky piston and the slime blocks pushed out, it got stuck between the dirt and the slime block. Let's fix that. Nope. As I was typing, you missed that, and it'll get stuck on top of the piston. So we're harvesting this a lot faster than we would be, and we'll hop over to my Family Craft server, and I'll show you this entire farm in action. The rates I'm getting on the entire farm. That's why you can't put. That's why I don't have that piece of glass out there. I mean, I guess you can do it all except the edge there, but as you see, come 1 block in. I knew I did it a block in for a reason, and that was the reason. The rates I get on my Family Craft server on this farm, I have full from Y5 all the way up to Y62, I think is the top layer of it. I think I have 14 layers of it. Each layer is 4 blocks tall, and I get about 3,200 bamboo an hour. Yeah, an hour. So, which equates to just under 1 bamboo per second. And like I said, I'm using it to power a very small 27 furnace super smelter. And once you get a good buffer, it keeps up with it. Unless you're using it constantly. I think once all the chests I have filled there, I can do 4 hours of constant use of the super smelter without running out of bamboo. So I'm just gonna, there it goes, it just harvested again. So you could build this up as high as you want. You can go all the way up to 255 with it and get, I'm sure, insane rates out of it. But it is very redstone not intensive, with being 12 pieces of dust and 2 torches per level 4 sticky pistons. The hardest part is slime blocks, but once you get a slime farm going, those rates are pretty simple. Mine a bunch of obsidian, you could put that around here. If you have a bunch of cobblestone, you could put furnaces around here. Anything you want to get something to not stick to the sticky pistons. So let's jump over into my other world here, my realm, and I'll show you this unit in action in real life here. I don't remember where I logged off. I think I'm near my super smelter. So I'm using the Foxy no-tail design of a super smelter. It's a feed tape for the furnaces. And they get moved around in a circle and loaded. Yep, that's where it is. Let me just go in here and sleep real quick. Just building this new building here. Big warehouse and smelting area. So you could see the piston feed tape in here with the timer system for that. And then we'll just jump upstairs and look at... Oh, I forgot I took the ladder down. I guess we won't jump upstairs. Upstairs I have a large series of chests and they come into these hopper lines here, which then feed in to the top up there for the fuel. And then downstairs here I've got my items that are smelted, my items to be smelted, my little signs for everybody else on here, and you just kind of turn this on and let it be loud and it feeds that piston tape around. And then out here is where I have the farm right now, so I've got it hidden right here. It's completely underground. Still working on finishing the decoration in here and everything like that. But there are 14 levels of this. It goes all the way down. I'm using water streams at the bottom to then push it into, you can see here, this is each floor. I have a walk path so I can get to the pistons if I need to take a look at it or see what's going on. All the way down the bottom. My initial timer used a observer to observe the comparator, trying to put my words together here, to then trigger a little delay, and that works on both sides there. So that's kind of the design for how I started my system here, and I'm down almost at bedrock. So, and I have all my water streams over here. You know what, I think my farm is off right now. Let me go turn it on so we can go in and look on the other side here. So I put a little on-off switch here. All I'm doing is powering that piece of dust right there, which allows this to stop moving items back and forth. But if you listen, as soon as I flip this, one half is going to go off and you're going to hear a big loud bunch of splashing. Or not. It looks like game sounds are turned off. So this is our water stream over here. Goes in, goes up that way. And all I'm doing here is collecting some bamboo. And that is the entire farm functioning. I wish, this was my initial setup. This is, as I was building it, I was allowing it to harvest, and it fills up pretty quick. You get, you know, like I mentioned earlier, about 3,200 pieces of bamboo an hour, which is a good sized farm. So, and there it goes, right up. Just harvested again, just shot right up the water column, and that's getting loaded into the chest that I have up in the roof. So here's the back side of the super smelter here. I haven't closed up yet. So, and I think that's it for the farm. So thanks for watching. Any questions, please leave them in the comments. Drop a like, subscribe if you want to see more like this. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, smash that like button and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!